they can be more that they can become a better version of themselves. Okay. And he has lots of mentorship program. He's also a big mentor, and he's very, very vocal, on seeing that youth develop and be the best version of themselves. He also has a mentorship program that he's holding. I think there's another one that is currently that's under pipeline, and I'm hoping that he's going to discuss that with people so that if anyone is interested to be a part of that, you can always join. We can always get you his contact and be a part of that, right? So in a short, in a let's say standing ovation, let us welcome Bayode Thomas Okay, the ideation general. Bayo, if you can put on your video, you guys can put on your video, but Bayo would like you to, if that's okay with you. Guys, if you can also put on your video so that we can see this message.
I celebrate you.
So, Bayo, you are welcome.
Hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited. I want to celebrate you, sir. Thank you for work that you represent. Pastor Sunday is my pastor. He's called back then. I know that I know it's coming from. I've been a bad boy. I've been to this rap poet since school. And I just want to say that I said, producer, thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for this, holding this and doing this. And I'm sure that I really hope I pray tonight. I'm sure that you particularly awesome. It could be like a new turnaround for some people that I'm sure God has sent to tonight. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sorry, your mic is muted.
You're muted, sir.
Sorry. Okay, so thank you. So Bayo, I think your line is breaking. Oh, that was only the network. So Bayo, I know that I know you personally, and I know you do a lot of things. Sometimes I think there was a time I was having a conversation. It's very difficult to say this is what you do because you do a lot of things. All right. So can you just quickly introduce yourself, right? Tell them let the people know you, what you do, and we can kickstart, and the conversation from there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir? I hope it's not breaking anymore.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, for those who don't know me, my name is Bayode Oke Thomas, right? The crux of the thing that I do is centered around culture shaping, right? Meaning that all that I do is centered around shaping the minds of people towards their prevailing design, right? Towards their prevailing design. While in a world where the world every day is struggling to take away our level of awareness, meaning that different people are on this world, on this earth, with different agendas. And the truth is that as human beings, we are casualties or victims of different agendas of the spirit realm, both from the kingdom of God and from the kingdom of darkness, right? We are that conduit or that focal point for, to run agendas pretty much. And what that means is that at best, we are always stuck at the point where we're just victims of different things, right? We're victims of, of education, victims of nuisance, we're victims of so many things, right? And so the crux of the things that I do is centered around shaping the minds of people to be, number one, very aware of the things that they do. And before you can do that, you need some level of power, right? You need some level of influence. And so the influence that one of the things that I'm doing, to achieve this influence is why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. So number one, I'm the country director for InstantRad, here in Nigeria. InstantRad is a teleradiology company, right? Shipping how radiology is across the world, right? And I lead that operations here in Nigeria, right? I'm not just country lead, I'm country director and a partner, right? And I also run what we call the BOT Black Room. So the Black Room is like a room for young people to mentorship, pretty much mentoring young people towards the cause of change, right? Towards, like I said earlier, their towards their prevailing design, right? I'm also the CEO for Rescue Health. Rescue Health is a startup that was bettered as a problem while functioning as country director at InstantRad. So while solving the problem with InstantRad, we noticed new problems, and then we decided to create solution blueprints to the problem we found out. We found out in InstantRad, and then that pivoted to become a startup that I also lead. Among so many other things, I'm very big on faith. I'm the admin of my church. I do a lot of faith work, right? I think the faith work is what actually guides the entirety of everything that I do. So you will see me at speaking engagement, talking maybe in schools. You see me do mentorship work. You see me strong big influence in healthcare. And the influence is very necessary for the agendas that we're also trying to push, right? If we see so many evil in the world today, at best what we can do is complain, but it's something superior to complaining is to present an alternative that people can also embrace in an agenda. And that's what I do across all the work that I do. And God has been helping us to doing towards doing that. And also we're raising the 1% of people that are going to shape the way Africa is perceived in the world. And that's something that I'm working on. That's all of the things that I'm working on. I know it's a lot, but I know if you can we can put everything back into culture shaping. Pretty much, that's it. Thank you,
Oh,
sir.
that's very, very interesting. And thank you guys for everyone joining. I can see that quite a number of people have joined in, and see very important people. I can see that the founder of the Kidney Edge Foundation is here. Oh, it's good to have you, sir. All right, so great. Now, Bias, very, very interesting conversation. Very interesting conversation. I know you're a mentor, right? And a lot of times we have, and let's take it back home. Okay, I know you do a lot of things. I can't really say much of your background and everything, but of course, coming from where we came from, we all grew in we schooled in Moshi, we schooled in Lut and all those things, those suburbs, right? And a lot of times when we talk about impact, when we talk about influence, when we talk about growth, the first thing a lot of people want to do is I just need food for my for my daily living. I just need sustenance for my daily living. Okay. I just want to eat. Okay. I just want to get my daily 2K. Now, how have you been able to work with this kind of people? Okay, to transform them from thinking that way to start thinking about impact and influence. You know what I mean? How do
Yes,
I,
sir.
for example, I'm a young boy, I grew up in Oshodi, and all I just know is about survival. That's all I knew. And somebody is telling me that I can make impact, I can make influence, I can, bring a change to Oshodi or beyond Oshodi. How do I as a person, seeing that I have a lot of limitations? For example, my environment could be a limitation. For example, maybe growing up, nobody ever talked about impact. I've never seen impact beyond just, my dad giving me money for food or my mom providing my daily sustenance. Now, so when we talk about impact and influence, for that kind of mind, that's a problem. If you know what I mean, it's very
Yes,
difficult
sir.
for the person to conceive that idea. Now, as a mentor and as someone also through your experiences, how do you help people like that? How do we grow from this mindset? How do we overcome, the blocks or the obstacles, that we already have, that are against us in this, getting to that level of impact.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. This is like very proof. I think this is like the foundation of everything. So, but before I answer the question, I also have to, say to everyone, hi everyone, thank you so much for joining. I want you to do me a favor tonight. Please don't listen to me. Maybe if you have known me before, please don't listen to me like you've known me before, right? I'm sure that tonight is not just a coincidence. It's an orchestration. I beg you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, please, if you say that, if you don't listen to me like you've known me before, if you've ever known me before, that's number one. Number two is that whatever we're going to discuss today, try not to just jot quotes that we're going to share, or classic nuggets we're going to share, because at best what that would do for you is that it's going to help you pass the test of recall. So when you know that, oh, Bayo said this, or Pastor Tunde said this, right, and then you'll be able to recall that. We've seen that in education, in our academics, and see that in academics at best teaches us to just recall. It helps us pass the test of recall. And that's why we see that those who pass is, if anybody can cram anything and you can pour it in an exam, or then you will definitely pass. Then we now realize that those who pass, we see that those who are first in class are eventually not first in life, because you pass the test of recall, but you fail the test of transformation. And what I want tonight to be for everyone is transformation. How will you be transformed? Divide a sheet into two. Write as one column of that sheet, what will I start doing? And number two, what will I stop doing? Whatever we're going to discuss tonight, if it is not centered around those two things, trust me, it's going to just be another note you are going to jot that you're going to recall. You keep recalling, the quotes, and probably use it in your next speaking engagement, or maybe at a session that you have, and there will be no real transformation. The only guarantee for a transformation tonight is when you decide and make a decision on what am I going to start doing from this conversation, or what am I going to stop doing. And to be very honest, I don't think I'm sent to everybody too. I think I'm just sent to few people that are ready for clarity. And the proof of clarity is speed and velocity in the right direction. You will begin to see speed, in the right direction. And that's the proof that you'll be clear tonight. Now, to Pastor Tunde's question, one of the classic things that I had to deal with first before I started to mentor people was that I have to ask the question, why am I here? Like, why am I here? It seemed to me that everything around me knows why they are here. My wristwatch knows why it is here. My wristwatch is here to tell time. And it is telling time classically. It is not arguing. A TV knows its work. A TV knows that it's to display. Guess what? The power cable for a TV does not have as much PR as the TV itself. And the cable is not protecting that. Oh, nobody knows me. They only know TV. Nobody knows me. It knows that its job is just to be connected to a power source to power the TV. Even without its PR, the TV has more PR than its cable. A car knows its function to drive people from point A to point B. No matter how you load up a car, the car is going to pick up itself, start itself, and move you from a point A to a point B. Now, it seems to me that every other thing around me knows why it is here except me. Except the human being. It's the human being alone that does not know why it is here. If the human being knows why it is here, there will be less evil in the world. There will be more love in the world. There will be more there will be more love. There will be more care. There will be more impact in the world. Why? Because you are here for something. And the human being is here for those 5 things. There's a reference to those things in the scriptures, right? But the human being is not here for 5 things. And this is what I have to, come to terms with myself. Is that number one, the human being is here to be fruitful. That's number one, right? The human being is here to be fruitful. What does it mean to be fruitful? What it means to be fruitful is that, you see, fruitfulness in itself, it can be very funny. And I believe that God is so wise and powerful that to be fruitful, it is the seed in a fruit. Watch this, guys. Listen to this, guys. The seed in a fruit is what has the capacity to reproduce the fruit. Do you know how powerful that is? The seed in a fruit is what has the capacity to reproduce that fruit. Now, how does that work? I have a seed on my inside. Now, I'm explaining what it means to be fruitful. I said the human beings are here for 5 things. Right? Number 1 is to be fruitful. What does it mean to be fruitful? There's a seed on your inside. Except that seed gets planted. And what does it mean for a seed to be planted? The seed has to die. Literally. The seed has to go down. The seed has to explore its world. The seed has to get to a point where it looks like nobody sees it anymore. The seed has to get to a point where he is broke and busted. The seed has to get to a point where he's so alone. The seed has to get to a point where all he's doing is that he's studying. The seed has to get to the point where everybody is seeing around him is that they are seeing him as someone who is unserious, whereas he's cooking something. A seed is never seen. A seed does not have PR. A seed does not blow. A seed is just very careless. A seed is dug deep down into the ground. But guess what? What happens to that seed is that when that seed stays consistent at exploring its world in the ground, it's going to spring forth. Right? It's going to spring forth as a plant, then grow enough to become a tree. Now, guess what? That's not even the end of that's not even the manifestation of a seed. The seed grows to become a tree, and the tree begins to bear fruit. Now, guess what, guys? The fruit, a tree cannot eat of its own fruit. A tree can never eat its own fruit. The fruit of a tree now begins to get beneficial to others. Now, so what does it mean to be fruitful? What it means to be fruitful is to grow enough to be able to begin to be a blessing to others. For we are blessed to bless others. We are taught to teach others. It doesn't end on you. We are conduits. That whatever the comfort you've received, you should comfort others with it. You should have received succor to be succor to some other people. Right? That's number 1, to be fruitful. Number 2 is to multiply. Right? Whatever is given to you, nothing must die in your hands. That's what it means to be fruitful. Nothing must die in your hands. Now, if you've learned to manage the little that you have, then you can now multiply that. And when you multiply that, you can now replenish that. And then when you replenish that, then you can now subdue. When you have power enough, what happens is that in that territory, you begin to subdue it. You'll be so popular to the point where before they can do anything in healthcare, you'll be the first person they will call. Why? Because you've done the work over and over and over again to the point where you have become an authority. Then you begin to subdue it. And after when you do all of these things, you are going to have dominion. So what it means is that we were created to have dominion. If you are functioning out of these 5, you are around, but you are not present. You are around the ecosystem, but you are not present. What it means to be present is that you have a stake. You are a stakeholder in the decisions of men. You are a stakeholder in the affairs of humanity. And you see, that is the point where we begin to function out of ourselves, and we begin to function based on our true design. So when I talk to people and I want to get them to the point where they can see themselves beyond just being a casualty on earth, is to point them towards the direction of dominion and say you are here to and dominion sounds like a Christian word, right? It's a Christian word. If I say dominion now, it's only Christians that will understand me. But if I'm in the secular world, in the secular space, I would just use the word dominion is power. Right? Dominion is power and influence, pretty much, right? And so we must get to that point where at the sector, around the sector that we are in, we function in, we must become an authority in that space. There are a lot more I want to share around how to get into authority, how to get into that level of authority and mastery, right? But I just want to reiterate on this point that what will allow us to get to that point where we begin to make impact is to know that we're not here for ourselves, right? We're not here for ourselves. We're here to have dominion. Now, when you have dominion, what happens is that you now have options. You are now an agenda setter. You are now somebody that now at best, if you are a governor, there are things that you will do that nobody can question you. But as a regular member, you will only complain, right? You will only complain. I was with some students and I was telling them that take on political positions because you are going to be a casualty if you are not in political positions. You're not going to be a casualty. All they need to say is no more praying in SON. You have no, like when school, you have no, you can't argue that you are a student. No more praying in SON. That's then. If a Muslim, if for instance, maybe there is a Buddhist or an atheist president, and they're only going to influence the system towards the direction of their agenda, right? So you will see that what it means to change your perspective from just being a regular person is to think towards the light of dominion. And what that means pretty much is influence. And it's not, and you cannot get to influence if you are just tilted towards yourself. You must begin to think towards for others, right? You must begin to, how can I bless this person? How can I help these people? There's a lot that I'm sure that we're going to have to unpack during the course of the conversation. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bayo. That was a very, how I say, an umbrella. That was an umbrella of many things that we need to unravel from that conversation that you said. Very, very interesting that you said something. And I think I want to start building from there. You mentioned something, and I think it's very important. You mentioned something about a seed. When seed is planted, and that seed, it first goes through that process of dying, and
yes, sir.
Yes, which we all know from, even for you're a believer, you're very active in church. I know some people might be here. There's a scripture that says that, except the seed dies down, it cannot grow and bring forth many forth seeds. All right. And I like the way you're able to connect this to our life experience. Okay. And when you christen it, or you liken it to what we call a clarity section. Okay. That and just looking at it, for people that have watched this movie, sorry, it's not a movie, it's an animation. I love animations, right? If anybody have remembered, I've watched Avatar. Okay, when Avatar was going through he was trying to get into the Avatar state, and he was having so much difficulty or something. I don't know if it's Avatar or it was Korra, and probably maybe the second Avatar, that's Korra. And there was a statement they said that in the moment when you are in your lowest of seasons, all right, or when you are in your deepest of seasons, right, that is when that moment presents an opportunity to experience an immense power, all right, or to experience an immense resources within you that you never have thought of. Okay, and I think that's very, very important when it comes to clarity. And I like the way you use this darkness, when nobody is seeing anything. Okay, nobody is, everybody, when the seed is under the ground, nobody is seeing anything. Okay, just the seed, it's almost like nothing is happening. It's almost like, but right there, it seems like the seed is having a clarity section, all right, of the immense tree that it can become. Now, but the question now is, a lot of times when people go through that process, okay, because it's a process, we are always in that situation, or we are in a world where, particularly in this generation now, everybody wants to be visible. Everybody wants to be, visibility is the best thing. Okay. Now, how do people manage that period? Okay. What do you do during those period or during those clarity section period? Of course, clarity section, you can meet a consultant and have a clarity section, but I mean experience of life. How do people manage that period? How do people not just say jump that, I want to jump into visibility? How do we actually come to that place of clarity when you are in the deepest, moments of your life? Do you get what I'm saying? How would you advise people to take those moments? How do you advise people to get the best of those moments? And how do people even go through this period and have a clarity of what they want to become? If you get my question.
Perfect, sir. Perfect, sir. So there's something that I learned, right? That number one is that change is very noiseless. Change is very noiseless. It's called the noiseless effect of change. Now, when somebody kills a COVID-19 person, for instance, you know that at the point where you kill a COVID-19 person, you know that nothing is happening. It's not like you kiss a COVID-19 person and like, yay, as in, so a sharp pain comes. I'm like, Jesus, I had COVID-19. No, nothing happened. You are still like the same person that you were, but something significant and powerful just happened to you that you're not aware of. The same thing is with a pregnant woman. The moment sex happens, right, and yeah, there's nothing. The bones are not begin to form in the stomach after sex, right? But a new generation is already betting on your inside.
Yeah.
Just by that singular action. Look at Samson. The Bible says that, and Samson woke up after his hair has been cut off. And Samson woke up like he always does, without knowing that something significant has happened to him. It's called the noiseless effect of change. Now, there's a lot that can be happening in your life that you are not aware of, but there's a huge and mighty change happening within you. I see. I'm a product of that. I'm a strong product of that. I was listening to one person every day, 365 days in an entire year. Listening to one person every blessed day, 2 hours for an entire year. It looked in this season, I was in intense depth. Every man on uniform was after me. Police, Boy Scouts, Girls Brigade, Amotekun, name them. They were all after me so that I can pay back their loan, because I made a very foolish decision with money, right? And I was in intense depth. This was 3 years ago. In this 3 years ago, I was still doing speaking engagements. I was doing things like as if I did not have any problem. Why? Because I was listening to somebody for an entire year, and I was hearing things that I knew that I just knew there's something about me. And this guy is not speaking to that person. My physicality did not reflect that. So let me tell you a story. I was in my office, and maybe I think today, looking back now, I'll say God gave me the chance to look through, so the WhatsApp, or like the WhatsApp page. I was HOD, like I've always headed radiology in my Marigold Hospital for a long time, for almost 5 years, right? And I was there, and then I just had the chance to look at the system, like the PC of my staffs, right? My members. These are people that I was dying for, like I was going to go and fight for. No, they must increase our salary. It was this. Oh, I thought I was the best HOD in the world, and I had the chance to, So I just saw the WhatsApp. I don't even know what made me just say, Abayo, you need to know. When we discuss power and influence, you must be very alert. It's called agency. If we have the chance, I can discuss that. What agency really means, what it means to have agency as a person, right? So I felt like, Abayo, you need to be aware of how people perceive you. So what I do, I searched. Now this is wrong. Please don't try this. Like, this is very wrong. It's unethical, right? But I just typed bio, like just searched bio on the search bar of WhatsApp. Sir, you need to see what I saw. I saw all manner of things. Oh, this broke boy he's so broke. He always begged for 5K. It was a mess. Now, somebody could have seen that and would have thought that, and I'm going to accuse them that, you guys are calling me broke? Bro, you are broke.
You are broke.
You only had the chance to see it. What people are saying. You had the chance to see the reality of what people were saying about you. You are actually broke, bro. Right? Not just that I was broke. I smell a lot. Like I'm smelling. I told you, like I have body odor. That was what they meant. And I had body odor, serious body odor. I have a poor dress sense. These were the people I was working with. At this time, I was listening. This was me doing every possible change as I was going through a transformation season, listening to grow, right? And I'm going to get to that point, sir, right? Listening to grow, to become something, right? So in my mind, I knew so deep that I will never be broke in my life. I will not be poor. I knew that, but it was not reflecting in my life. So what that did to me was I knew God was introducing me to begin to see some things that Change is noiseless, guy, but there are things that I'm going to show to you that you need to begin to work on, right? So that I did not till up to tomorrow. They are not aware that I saw that.
Mm.
If you come near me today, my perfume is like very loud because of that season.
Mm.
Like if people that know me, they know me. I'm very big on perfume. That was what caused that transformation. If you know me today, my dressing changed. If you know me in loot and you know me now, how I dress is complete. It has completely changed because of that season. Now, what I'm trying to say is that change is noiseless.
Mm.
But there's a model that if anybody's going to get tonight, that there's a model that I want to share with us tonight that will help us a lot. Is what we call the be, do, have model. Be, do, and have model. Is that you cannot have, and don't forget what we're talking about, how to go through the season of that death, that darkness, that season that things don't seem clear. It's called the be, do, have model. So what it means to want to blow is that you want to have things. Pretty much, it's to have things. It's to have the cars, to live in the houses, to have all the social media, that is have. We just want to have things. That's what it means to blow. If you have money today, you are blown. You can pay any influencer to be in your house if you have money. So the end goal is to have. Now the be, do, have model says that you cannot have what you want to have if you have not done what you need to do. And you cannot do what you need to do to have what you want to have without becoming who you are meant to become. So let me take that again. That might seem very weighty. Let me take that again. You cannot have what you want to have if you have not done what you need to do. And you cannot do what you need to do without becoming who you are meant to become. Listen, guys, you cannot have without doing, and you cannot do without becoming. A lot of us copy people at the doing level. You see, by doing mentorship classes, and it's straight up you want to do mentorship classes, or you see, Pastor Tunde doing having a community. You also want to go and have a community. We always start from doing, failing to remember that there was a becoming. You heard Sotunde said that he sat down with a very influential person and had a 3-hour session with him, and that 3-hour session is what caused his transformation. You are not prior to that information. You only copied him at his doing level. I see somebody selling air on Instagram. It just felt like, what is there? Is it not to be selling air? Me too, I'm going to sell air. You should go and sell air, forgetting that this person's daddy is the daddy can call 4 daddies that will compel purchasing power from their pockets.
Yeah.
You who came from Ijegun like me, end of Lagos Town, right? Where our daddies, at best, all we know are fellow daddies who are struggling in the community, right? And we fail to forget that we have not become who that person has become, but we only started copying the person at doing. And if you copy at doing, you will not have what that person has. So we must first become. The becoming process is the fruitful process. Listen, guys, if you look at that fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have, it's the same model. Be fruitful. If you can be fruitful, you will multiply, you will replenish, you will subdue, and you will have dominion. You see, it's the same thing. It's consistent across board. That if you can be fruitful, what does it mean? Experience your world. Experience your world. My world is from your world. There is no curriculum I can present to anybody here. There's no template I can present to anybody here that if you follow, you get through my journey. No, there is a world that you have. There is an experience in your world. Like for me now, I'm a good talker. They've been calling me talkative since I was young. So I've always been a talker. Someone can say, Bayo speaks so well. Don't be deceived. I've always been a talker. So and that I can talk, but something I can do too. All I'm saying right now, I'm putting it into action. So it's not like I'm saying what I've become, right? So you don't get too bamboozled by my words. I can be very eloquent because I've learned it over time. Because it in the experience of my world, I realized that I have a gift called speaking. So what did I do with that? I went to go and learn how to speak, to compel an audience to listen to me.
Yeah.
Right? You can listen to me now and be saying, I want to be like Bayo. You have to first be Bayo before you can do what Bayo is doing and have what Bayo has. I not have like that. I'm there have like that, yeah, but but it is the model is consistent across board. Don't want to have first. First do, and don't do if you have not become. I was telling you that I was listening for a year. How do you tell? How is listening anything productive? Listening seems very lazy. It seems lazy. I just sat down. I just sat down and just listening. Some people say it's so jobless. All he's doing is just listening to you. You are missing it because that listening is an investment in becoming.
Yes, sir.
When the ROI comes out, the ROI on becoming is massive doing. Listen, guys, you can have to the degree of who you have become. Trust me, you can only have to the degree of who you have become. I have to pay for some conferences, right? I have to work late for some mentors. I have to take their children, I have to take some mentors' children to school. You know why? My parents don't have some access. In 2021, 28, I left school 2017. Between 2017 and 2020, we didn't have license. We didn't have license then. Luckily for me, before I left school, I'd already been doing networking with mentors. I was going to mentors out to go and wash their cars and go and wash their plates, right? But when they give me just one chance, to maybe do something, I do it very excellent. That I graduate from washing plates to doing presentation, to doing graphics, to doing so many things. Why? All of those things, they thought I was helping them, but no, it was influence because I wanted to gain access to the rooms that they had access to.
Yes,
it was a becoming season. I was broke all these times. I was paying newspaper. It's a newspaper publication. I was paying newspaper 15,000 naira. Some of you don't know that to appear on newspaper would just cost you 15,000 naira or 20,000 naira. You're not aware. I was paying newspaper 15,000 naira and writing there. I'm declaring to the future that Bayo is a fast rising star coming in. I won the Diana Award. I knew the award was not popular. I bought newspaper and put it there. Bayode Oke making Nigeria proud. I wrote that publication. Diana didn't write it for me. I wrote it myself. It's an investment in becoming. Today, if you Google Bayode Oke, you will see it there. Bayode Oke making Nigeria proud. I got it. I traveled to Dubai because the sponsor searched my name online and saw that I've been doing impact work since I was 22, 21. Right? It was an investment on becoming. It was a dark season. It was a season where I was broke, busted, no hope, no soap, nothing to cope with. I had nothing, literally. I got my first apartment 8 years after I graduated from school. I was been squatting from places to places. I got my first car in January this year. So every of my work that you see were all investments in becoming. But a lot of people see my work and think that is the result. That's not the result. Those were investments on becoming. I was begging to appear on stages, on platforms, to speak, to showcase myself to the world, because the scripture said, "Let your light so shine before men, not before God, that men will see my good works." So men had to see my good works before glory will go back to my Father, right? So I needed works to show for me. I was doing a lot of works, but people were seeing my works as the proceeds. I never had any money. I started working at InstantRad that's 5 years ago now, right? For the first 3 years, I was not paid any salary, but I was posting constantly as country director. My work at InstantRad is to do this and do this and do this and do that. But after 3 years, I made a bargain. I did not just make a bargain for salary. I made a bargain to own a quarter of the company because of the work that I've done. I was in loot, giving monies in loot, sponsoring student events. I did not get paid for it because it was an investment on integrity, trust, right? And when I earned that, I made a demand. I did not just make a demand. I made a demand of 5% on a $20 million valuation company. You can do that math. You can do the math of that, right? So if you look at it, they are the dark seasons, but they are the seasons to invest in the becoming. A lot of
Yeah.
us, when money comes to you, all you think of is where to go and invest the money. You are a proper investment. The ROI that will proceed from you as an investment is greater than any 50%, 20%. Some of us don't trust our work enough to publicize it. I went to Dubai. That was in 2021. I went to Dubai 2021, fully sponsored by the Lagos State government. And when I got there and I came back, I knew I needed to document this work, or else I will only be saying it with my words that I went to Dubai. Right? They charged me 500,000 naira, sir. 500,000 naira to appear on a full page. That's what I wrote there. Bayode Oke Thomas revolutionizing healthcare in Nigeria. Go check it. I wrote the publication. They didn't write it on my behalf. I wrote it and sent it to them. They charged me 500,000 naira. I did not have 500,000 naira. I went to borrow 500,000 naira. Why? Because I was too sure that when the proceeds of this investment will show forth, even me will be shocked at the action I will have. So there's a lot of investment we must make on ourselves to become. It sometimes you have to think about it. Sometimes you have to. It will look like you are manipulative to become. It will look like I wrote a publication. You are reading it, and I was saying congratulations bio. I paid for that publication. And it's the same thing with the people that we think are influential. What they are doing as investment to unlock your curiosity and humility is what you see as the proceeds of their work. Let me take that again. What they are doing as an investment, to their own growth is what we see as the proceeds of their work. You see influencers dress fine. You see them go rent private jets. You see them go snap picture in front of a big fine house. You'll be insulting them online. You forgot that online don't count good likes and bad likes, or good comment or bad comment. Comment is comment. Like is like. So you are there writing, oh, it's fake life. You are contributed to their visibility, right? And that is their own investment to become. But you saw it as a reward. That's their reward. Just that as you keep engaging them, they kept growing, that the fake life became a real life. And you see, Davido, they spent so much money and so much investment in looking a certain way that we can no longer see them outside of that picture. That, I'm just trying to say that the dark seasons are the time to invest in becoming. Because when the moment you become, nobody knows and it's quiet. Nobody becomes wise and it's quiet. You can never put a wise man's head down. When you become, something will propel you to do. And when you do, you eventually have. Right? So I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody. I'm being vulnerable so that it will sink in and tell you how I've been through hell. Literally, right? But when Moses was stuck, he was looking at it in front of him, he was seeing the Red Sea, and just right behind him, he was seeing the Egyptians. And our fantastic Moses, who God has told that if I will talk to you, I will talk to you through the prophets. But this Moses, though, I will talk to him face to face. This Moses that I promised everything, Moses looked at God and said, Lord, what do I do? You know, the Lord answered him. He said, why are you telling me? Go forward. There's an investment in ensuring that no matter what I go through, I must keep going forward. So no matter the seasons, no matter the hardship, you must have an intentional commitment that I must consistently go forward. I will be sorting the bills as they come. The ones that can sort, I sort. The ones that will come with shame, let it come with shame, right? I'm a seed. I've died. Akukuma died. There's no shame. You can't shame the shame. The shame. I'm shamed. I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to lose. Right? I've lost it already. Right? I've lost my fears already. Right? So I have a commitment that in spite and despite of the seasons, I have a commitment to always go forward. And that model I've shared, I don't know if that makes sense, sir.
That really, 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 really makes sense. That really, really, really makes sense. This is quite interesting. You cannot shame the shameless. Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. That's interesting. That's interesting. I like the just the towards the end when you started talking about the model, the be, have, be, do, and have, right? In fact, there was, while I was preparing for this meeting, and I wrote up my vision board, right? There's a conference that I was thinking of holding probably after this one on when, and I was thinking of it. I think I titled it to see, be, and become. No, see, be, and create. See, be, and create, right? Because why I'm saying that is because there's very, and I like also, but I want to appreciate you first of all because a lot of times we go out to people to, speakers, and they were telling you, you can do this, you can become this, you can do this, And a lot of times, what we see or what we hear is the glory, but you don't hear the story. So, first of all, I appreciate the fact that you are quite vulnerable, okay? Because it is in the place of vulnerability, okay, that we learn, we see the immense story or the immense inspiration. So, I appreciate that you are quite vulnerable on this meeting, right? So that's very interesting. So point here is, you mentioned something about becoming, all right? A lot of us, we because we're always after the shine shine, let me put it that way, shine shine. When we were small, we're like shine shine clothes, shine shine, shine shine, shine shine, things like that. So even in people's story, is the shine shine that we like, right? We like, oh, this person has, for example, now buyer, he has money. Don't tell you his Benz that is carrying is not buying Toyota. His Benz, who starts first car buying Benz instead of Corona. So he has money. So somebody is see buyer now and say that buy your Benz, was it the one that kind of stuff. My point here is this. Okay. Now, a lot of times people don't even know the process to become. All right. When we say to become, okay, a lot of people think, what does it even mean to become? All right. And I know that becoming comes from an inside experience. Okay. Becoming comes from an inside experience. I used to tell people, I say this, I'm someone that's very, very important. I really pay attention that I tell people that a lot of things happen spiritual. All right. Everything that we see is spiritual. Okay. Now, of course, and when I mean spiritual, I don't just necessarily mean that, oh, you're going to church or something. Even the most unbeliever that you think is not spiritual is spiritual because in their world, they will call it metaphysical. They'll say that there's always everything metaphysical that explains the physical. All right. So there's everything spiritual that becomes spiritual. All right. And I used to say something. I remember there was some of you might know this story, popular um, billionaire. When he was in trouble, his business was in trouble. I mean, a top person was in trouble. Okay, and it seems like his company, is one of the blue chip company, was going to actually go down the drain. Okay, for you that understand the blue chip company, you can pinpoint and look at it. Oh, the blue chip company in US, you probably figure out what I'm saying. And it was it was in that immense stuff. Okay, and during that period, for a while, he was just away ahead, maybe for 6 months or something. And he went to a place where there was it was almost like there was a metaphysical experience that he was having. So my point is that there's always a spiritual experience. Or another way I'll put it is there's always an inward experience, okay, to becoming. All right. So how is it that we're able to facilitate? A lot of people don't know. Okay. In fact, a lot of us don't know that we are intentionally becoming who we are currently are. Some of you are becoming like, oh, I don't know, I'm becoming. No, you are just not paying attention. You have not come to that place of awareness, to that place of consciousness. Okay. But who you are, you are actually becoming that person by certain decisions, by what you are seeing internally. All right. So, Baya, I just want you to, just to elaborate on this. Okay. How do how do we come to that place, you know, of an inward or a level of awareness? Because before you become, you must have entered a level of awareness. You must have entered a level of consciousness. You mentioned something that you were listening to a message or to listening to a particular person, and you were speaking to that person, you're listening for over 1 year. Okay. And I'm sure there gets to a point in that period when you were listening that you came to a level of awareness, okay? Or you came to a level of it wasn't just that you were putting something in your subconscious. That subconscious has now become so aware, it has become so tangible. How do we help people move and transit in that place? How do they come from that place of things that is not yet substantiated to the place of conscious substance in their awareness to becoming? If you understand what I'm saying.
I do, sir.
Yeah.
Clearly, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, fantastic question, sir. I think that I mentioned something earlier, and I said agency. I said something. I said something. I said agency. What it means to have agency, I mean, we can check it up, right? Is the ability of the human condition to influence its own decisions. Now, sir, we are enslaved across every level. We are enslaved. Everything is a place enslaving us. Different things. Some people, it is celebrities are influencing us. For some of us, it is systems, some structures, we are enslaved at every level.
Mm.
So meaning that sometimes there's a guy, there's a child that I was having a conversation, in the car because I'm in the I traveled, I had a trip, I traveled, and because I was showing, so there was a young guy who I carried that was pressing his phone. He was not on his phone all through, like just pressing his phone. And I was telling the guy beside me, my music director beside me, and I was saying to him that, do you know that this guy will think now that it is his decision to be pressing phone.
Mm.
This guy is whatever he's doing on the phone. The the people who created the app, they are aware that the app has the power and the capacity to compel the guy to be glued to that screen for 4 hours. So the guy thinks that he's acting and pressing phone for 4 hours without knowing that he's only responding to a predetermined behavior that people have designed.
Yeah.
If you look at Ezekiel 11:2, Ezekiel 11 verse 2, the Message translation, profound scripture. The Bible says there that, and the Lord took this guy to the top of the hill and showed him and said, guys, these are the men that draw up blueprints for sin. So, wow, so there are people that draw up blueprints. So what does that mean? What does that leave us? It means that a lot of times when we go and commit some sins, and go and say, go forgive me, go forgive me, go forgive me, you are only acting based on the scripts that people have created. And let me tell you, sir, people who are struggling emotionally, financially, in life, across any level, is because they lack agency. You lack the ability to control and determine your actions. So I was telling that this my music director that now the challenge is not that the guy is glued to his phone. No, the challenge is that he is not aware of the consequence of the app that he's engaging with. So he's glued not by his own decisions, but he's glued by the decisions of people. Now, when we now say that you should have agency, we're not saying that no, don't not have social media again. No, what we're saying is you need to be aware of the agendas of men and empower what you will empower, and don't just be a victim. Ensure that whatever you are is enslaving you is something you gave the power to, like mentorship. Mentorship has the ability to make you look like a puppet, has the ability to make you look like a fool. But I am more powerful than somebody who is claiming human rights, that nobody can talk to me anyhow. No mentor must rubbish me. Yes, you are acting based on the scripts that human rights activists have created. But me, I made a decision and a choice in power that I know that this process of mentorship might be tough for me, but I chose that it should enslave me. I chose it that it should. That is power. Power is the ability for you to choose what enslave you. And at best, you are always enslaved anyways, right? So, and you see, is the challenge. The challenge is that we live our lives as a victim and casualty. I remember everybody loved Jennifer came out recently. I'm not sure if there's anybody in this room that did not watch that movie. I'm not sure. Somebody cooked something called a movie, cooked it for say maybe 3 months, and that thing was powerful enough to gather 5 billion people across the world to go watch. So I watched it too. So me too. So so what I'm saying in essence is that when you are not aware of the consequence of agendas, you just fall as a victim and as a casualty.
Yeah.
And that is what brings our lack of agency. And what happens to lack agency is 3 things, sir. You are either a victim, you are a slave, or a poor person. There's no person that has agency, meaning I'm clear. See, that being time to see things. You see things with foresight. It's only called bended time. I don't know if there's time to talk about that, but the level of awareness is what drives us towards the change that we ever experience. And that awareness is when, so as we're not saying that don't just be a victim. We're saying don't be a don't just we're not saying don't engage with people's agenda. We're saying that you can engage, but don't only be a spectator. Let people, if you create something that people will spectate. So while we are all enslaved by something, you too enslave people by something, with something. And it's most likely an idea. It's probably likely a business. Apple is on our hands. Google Meet, here all of us on Google Meet. There's nothing we can do outside the design of Google Meet. The question is, what are we also creating that is compelling people's humility and curiosity to pursue our own cause too? That is when we have agency, meaning that I'm aware of your caprice, but I empower you to do it to me. Not that I'm naive and stupid. I'm very much aware. It's called agency, the ability for the human condition to be able to determine its own decisions. There is a documentary on Netflix. I think it's called Dilemma or something, and they're talking about what I can't remember the name. I'll check it out. They're talking about how the people that created Google, Facebook, how they created avatars, like they created avatars that have some set of behaviors. Social dilemma. Thank you, Amusa. Social dilemma. And they created avatars and set of behaviors in such a way that there's no human being on this earth. All of us, you fit into that avatar. So you're not behaving because you're not buying bag on Facebook because it's your thought, it's your decision to buy bag. No. They knew it's a predetermined decision that you will buy that bag, right? They've made, so you are fitting a set of behavior that has been designed, and that's what this kingdom life is making us come to unplug him from the system of this world. We thought the devil is doing some dramatic things. No, it's to unplug from the caprice. It's to unplug from that system. So I go to school. Everybody in school must do this course. Everybody in school must go this way. I go to the UK. Everybody in the UK, if you don't go as a doctor or a nurse, you are a caregiver. So the only thing your brain is thinking of is caregiver. It's a predetermined system. It's a predetermined system that will never allow you to think and know that academics will give to you, will give you what they want to teach you. Education is what you will teach yourself, but there's something superior to those two, which is revelation. You are a unique person. You are a unique person that when we learn you too, we can turn you to a curriculum. So that in itself is that at the level we begin to drive change. People begin to look at us and be like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? Is the ability for us to experience our world. Look at my world. I grew up from Ijegun, end of Lagos. My parents used to call this end of Lagos sunrise. right? It's a place where people cannot even make it. I think the chance to make it in Ijegun is about maybe 3% or 5%. Like it's end of Lagos. No people, as in we glorify ourselves in mediocrity. Like we exalt ourselves I mean, me, I trek from community to Ikotun. It's just it's just Ikotun you trek to. Me, I trek from here to here. So I think we compete with mediocrity. So there's no room to thrive. There's no room to become, right? But in that dilemma or in that unfortunate situations, we were able to still experience our world and see what that life gave to us as gifts. The ability to go through hardship. Some people can never relate because they got into influence. They can never relate. So when life presents hardship with me, I can go through it than such person. It's the ability for us to experience our world in its entirety. Now, when we experience our world, what will happen in our world? Options will show up. We'll begin to see options in that world. So options like loot. I went to loot, right? Options like I met with Pastor Tunde. So because I met with Pastor Tunde, because I went to loot and I went to Pastor Tunde today, I can engage with almost 40 something people on this call, right? That's my world. That's the experience of my own world. That options begin to show up. Now I must be able to explore all of that options. And the Christian life, because we are very also conservative, you don't want to do things that, hey, I don't want to sin, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do so. We're too conservative. We want to choose the one path that, provided I'm on this path, I won't sin on this path. We're limiting God's ability for us to find expression. We must explore all the options that show up in our world. Because if you don't explore what will show up in your world, if you don't explore it, like me now, I got into I was in jet club in my school, I was in press club. When I got to loot, I was involved in politics, I was involved in RCM, I was involved in I was exploring my entire world, because the exploration of my world will present to me options. So when the options came to me, I was able to choose that one that resonated with me as a matter of supreme urgency and importance. So it is the ability for the human condition to express express it and explore it. Explore your world, sir. Some of us might be too late. So now you cannot even take risks anymore. Right? So you must be able to explore your world. Every options that come to explore it all. Because you can never find purpose in just being conservative. You have some of us, you did the course you did, not because you chose it. It's because that's the only option that exists in your entire world. You never had the chance to explore, to see that you had more giftings. I'm not doing today anything I read in school. Well, maybe radiology, yeah, right. But it's management, it's business. Well, my dad was a businessman. I'd learned business from him already, from growing up. That's my world. The ability for me to experience the entirety of my world, right, and identify the options that exist in it, and run with that particular one that seemed to me that looks like what resonates with me. But you will not have the advantage of options if you don't explore. And if you don't even have agency, you will never see the options, because at best you might probably just be an employee that is now 25 years experience in doing one thing. So at best you are just going to be an Aaron sent to a Moses, which is not also bad in itself. You just be an Aaron sent to a Moses, or you will just be part of the Israelites. That whatever the decisions of Moses and Aaron is what you have to follow. So you must choose your own path. Some people, they don't want to come to this life to suffer. They don't come to this life. They don't come to this life to do too many hard things. They want to come to this life to just give birth, marry, give birth, do what they can do to humanity, and go. So you have your space. You are either the Israelites, or you are Aaron, or you are a Moses. In the real world of today, there are people who are the masses, the masses. There are those who are the influencers, and there are some people that are called power brokers. The power brokers are the ones that determines the influencers. They control the influencers. Your Davido, there are people's houses. They are selected and elected by some power brokers, and the influencers are the ones that control the masses. So you can choose where you want to become. Do you want to be part of the masses, or you want to be an influencer, or you want to be a power broker? Me, I want to camp around power brokers. Power brokers don't choose either or. Power brokers determines, have a stake in all the options, right? So some of us will say, "Oh, I like Go TV, I don't like DSTV." Well, sorry, they gave you power of your, they give you power of choice, so you have the power of choice to choose, the power to choose. But at best, your choice can only capture their options. So I like Go TV, I don't like DSTV, or I like DSTV. Go TV for poor people. Well, oh sorry, you are paying the same person. It's power, you are paying the same power brokers. I like Picnic, I don't like Three Crown. Well, sorry, you are paying Promasido, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I like Lexus, I don't like Toyota. Well, sorry, power brokers, they camp around the options and give you the power of choice. So you
Mm,
are choosing, whereas they have captured, or they have arrested all your options, and they are the ones influencing your options. I like Gucci, I don't like Balenciaga. You are paying LMVH. I have one company like that, one company called LMVH. They are the Balenciaga, they are Louis Vuitton, they are everything, right? They control your options. And if you be powerful in our world today, you must be able to rent a space in people's heads and
mm,
make people begin take out money from their pocket to pay you. And if they ever have the chance to choose, have a stake in all their options. When you do that, you become powerful. You become the choice piece of meat in the soup pot. And
mm,
it will be only, they'll be thinking you. They don't know it is you, but it is you all along, right? But you cannot do all of this without agency and
mm,
sense of alertness and awareness.
mm.
Wow, this is long. It's very long. I'm so sorry, sir.
No, 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 no. That's fine. That's good. That's good. That's good. This is what we want. I know that we try and soon be getting to round up because I know you probably be going to church and all those things for preparation for tomorrow. Great. Right. So one thing I know that Bayo said a lot of things, right, from this meeting, from this particular stuff, but I want to pick out some things, salient things, so that you can understand. Okay. First of all, right, he said something that, and I remember listening to Kunle. For people that know Shorin, a very lovely person, right, founder of Illuminate, very lovely guy, right, who is also very keen on shaping cultures, right. He said something about you choose the kind. Of course, we all know that slavery. If we mention slavery now, particularly for people that are the blacks, right, it's a very this thing sentimental word, okay, but whether we like it or not, everyone is a slave of something, even in scripture, right? Where they do not be a slave of sin, but be a slave of righteousness. So, slave in itself is not a bad thing, all right? But the only problem that comes is when you don't have the ability to choose the kind of slavery you're entering into. Our fathers are the shipped from Africa to Cuba to America to go and be harvesting farm that they were using as workers to build to help their fourth industrial revolution, right? Those ones they didn't choose that slavery. Do you get what I'm saying? They do choose that slavery. They pick them from Africa to Cuba for plantation, to America, and all those things. Their sweat, their effort, and everything were what we used to build the modern day Africa that we saw, okay, or the fourth industrial revolution that we saw, right, in America. So the point is that that kind of slavery, is not what you want. The slavery where you cannot choose, and that's what the word is programmed. The word programs you, and we need to be aware. All right, awareness is very important because if you don't have that awareness, you will not know that you have, or if you don't know, if you don't have this awareness, you would just join, you just be enslaved. All right, and once you are enslaved by a system, you will be a product of that system. Okay, once you're enslaved by a system, you'll be a product of that system. So the question is, can you come to an awareness and choose the kind of system that enslaves you? All right. So, for example, somebody is going on. I remember I was having a conversation with someone one time. All right. I won't forget this conversation. And the person was telling me that, oh, I like this kind of ladies. I like any kind of, and he was, he was describing. And I said something to the person. I said, if I go to your Instagram page, right? I said, if I go to your Instagram page, I am sure more than 100% or 90% sure that the algorithms in your system are this kind of ladies are the people you are always looking at. Now you will think that, oh, this kind of lady is what I like. Oh, this kind of lady, you think it's a decision that you're making for yourself, but you don't know that is an algorithm that is putting that ideas. And people will have those ideas. You will see very wonderful people that you meet in life, but because a system has, transformed, has enslaved you, okay, you go and put it. Do you get what I'm saying? My point is that so the person is making a choice, all right. The person is coming to a decision, but he is not aware that a system is programming that decision. So the question here is, so from what he said, is that it's very important that you understand what enslaves you. For example, if you want to, sometimes when we talk of financial stuff, right? When I was starting my journey of financial stuff, started listening podcasts, financial videos, podcasts, these books on these finances. I went to meet Esther Kitayo for this thing. I want to work on this thing on my Nigerian stocks and all those things. Mentorship. Why? Because I am deliberately submitting myself to be enslaved by a system because I know the product of what I'm going to become. So the question here is, you have the choice of what enslaves you. From this meeting, you can go on and say that, okay, from this meeting, I'll go and pick up my Instagram, all right? And I'll be watching people that are dancing, all right? And the algorithm will bring that to you and you will spend 4 hours, all right? But what the algorithm has done is that it has made you a product of a kind of system. So when people are talking of building resilience, you cannot build resilience. You know that it's not because you don't have resilience in you. It's not because you don't have that grit in you. It's because a system, all right, or all you do on your social media is listening to people that are saying, I cannot come here to suffer, and you keep looking at that, keep looking at that, all right. And when you leave, you find it a problem to find yourself resilient, to finish a task, to push. It's not that you cannot do that. It's just because a system has programmed you to become that way. All right. And all these things are also to addictions and many things. Some people feel like, oh, you're struggling with. No, you're not struggling with many addictions. All right. It's just a system that made you think that way. All right. All right. And until you choose and say that, okay, I'm not going to be enslaved by this kind of system again, I will choose to be enslaved by this kind of system. So very, very important. I just want us to take that out there from everything Bayo have said. Choose the kind of slavery that you want to enter into. Okay, you can be, like I said, I used to tell people, spiritual people, you can be enslaved. You can choose to be enslaved by righteousness, or you can choose to be enslaved by sin. In that sense. So also, when it comes to wealth, you can choose to be enslaved by what, a resourceful mindset, or you can choose to be enslaved by a scarcity mindset. Do you get what I'm saying? If all that you watch are people that are saying that, oh, this 2K, I don't have 2K, and you keep watching it, you put it as your social media, but what you know is that there's something that's happening in your mind. Okay, so choose the kind of system or the kind of slavery that you will enter into. All right. So, Bayo, just because I know that you're probably going for a meeting or rehearsals or something. Now, somebody that is in the corporate world, and I know you've worked in a corporate system, we talk about global impact. A lot of times when we talk of global impact, we are always thinking, of course, maybe those that are entrepreneurs, those that are, business people, those that are into stuff like that. But somebody that's in the corporate world, is doing a 9 to 5 job, all right, or is an employee somewhere. How can those kind of people, come to that place where they do what they can begin to have impact beyond just their corporate workspace? Do you get my question, Bayo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good.
Thank you, sir. So I just actually got home.
Oh, okay.
So yes, sir. So the best way to actually do that is to be number one. I don't know. See, like Pastor Sule said, right? I also have to be enslaved with with leadership. You see, leadership now sounds like something very cliche.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership is powerful.
Yeah.
Like if you decide to just begin to read on leadership alone, like just reading of just leadership, I promise you, the way you will transform. Like just decide today. I know that you might be a doctor, or you might be you can be anything. I know you can be a badass dev guy. You can be anything. But if you can just decide that from today, maybe I'll just take up something on leadership and reading leadership, you will so transform. I promise you, our spiritual life will grow if you know leadership. You understand spirituality well if you understand leadership, because you begin to see things from God's lens.
Yeah.
You begin to see things. If you are in this world, you stop complaining. You begin to see things from God's lens. If you're in this world, if you are an employee, you begin to see things from your boss's lens.
Mm.
You know, and you see that's our challenge in the corporate world, sir.
Yeah.
We are only loyal to our paycheck.
Mm.
We are only loyal to our paychecks. So provided my paychecks are coming in, I'm doing my work. However, but there was a vision there.
Mm.
There is a reason why that establishment was created in the first place.
Mm.
Let's say I have a story, sir. I was working in I got into Marigold as a copper.
Mm.
And when I got into Marigold, I got into Marigold around 2019 for NY. Well, I was after NYC. Or no, before NYC. No, I think during NYC. Yeah, I got into Marigold at the time, and then it was a time where this Marigold just opened. They just got established too that year. And it was time to bring in their machines, their the CT machines, the MRI machine, the CT machine, X-ray machine, ultrasound machine, and they all came into my hands. Right, I was not a leader then, and this leader lacked every sense of agency. No, she's just there, like just there, And I knew that this is a good time to show that I can handle this department. And then so I began to do like read up stuff. Why? I just wanted to prove that I could run this department in a way that this company, they'll be too grateful. So they gave us, I went to ask for what's the target for radiology? How much do you hope that we should make? I went to ask the accountant, how much are you hoping radiology should make in the year? They gave me 600 million at the time. I'm like, 600 million. If they can make 200 million, why am I working here? But at that time, my HOD then, the lady, she was just there. I started going out to go and to hospitals. I started going to hospitals and say, you can send your radiology cases to us. We have expert radiographers to can do all your cases, solid, top-notch radiologists that are globally relevant. I'm the one.
Yeah, the package.
I'm the expert person, You see, marketing, they never employed me for marketing.
Mm.
But I have a commitment to the vision.
Mm.
So I began to do. So now, like I said, this is my own world. It's different from you. You might not be radiology. You might not be Marigold. You might be different things, but it's the same principle that applies.
Yeah.
Well, commitment to the vision. So I was going around, going to hospitals, and telling them to please send their cases to us. Guess what, sir? They started sending their cases to us. We got busy. Guess what? Along the line, this lady moved. She was already applying to move to the UK. Moved to the UK, left only me in the department. I told myself, Bayo, this is your time to shine. And it was problem because there were a lot of patients, and I could not handle it. But I said, this is my time to shine. I was running back-to-back shifts. My salary did not increase. I was running morning shift, night shift, morning shift, night shift, morning shift, night shift, morning shift, night shift. These days for 6 months. So, and I was only one. Immediately, I started making demands in the department that, sir, we need this. So they knew that this guy's on fire. So anything I asked for, they were giving me. As in everything I asked for, they were giving to me. In 2020, COVID hit us. Now the entire hospital, it's locked down. There's number one. If anybody goes home, there's nobody to bring people who will come and work the next day because there's no public transport out there. Nothing. The hospital had to make a decision to either lodge us in a hotel or make a decision that all of us should they will come picking all of us from our houses. This will not help the company. Now, mind you, some companies are very useless and stupid. No matter what you do to them, they will never still see you. But it is not a commitment to the company, it is a commitment to the vision. It is at your core. So you are not doing what you are doing because of what they will do to you or what they did to you. You are doing it because it's who you are. So whether or not they reward you out of it, it is who you are. And guess what? You will get to a point where you might do it here and not get rewarded. But planet Earth knows how to reward an investment and a commitment out of self.
Yeah.
So in that COVID, I said, and I was a bit influential at the time. So I was going to every department, guys, we cannot suffer this hospital. Let us stay back. If we stay back, we'll demand from them that they must give us food, money, afternoon, night. And I was going around. I recruited my friends. We went around and we made a decision. And I went to management. I told the management that, SARS, I'm sorry, don't worry, we're not going home. We are all going to stay back and we're going to do this. We're going to do this work. Sir, we all stayed back. So we're doing 2 weeks in and 2 weeks out. When COVID was done, sir, who should they make the HOD? Please, after all this, who is fit to run? I was the one. I was not also in the HOD. I was in the Hospital Management Council. Now, I'm no longer working there. I earn salaries from them till now. Why? Because of a commitment to a cause that is beyond you. Now, the hardship of Nigeria can make you not be able to do these things. So you know what we're saying is that the economy makes it difficult to dream. The economy makes it difficult to commit to a cause that is not rewarding you because there are real bills. There are real bills. There are bills to pay. Light unit is not even smiling. I mean, for those who just graduated from school, that maybe just left, maybe Medilag or whatever, to the school you went to. I mean, when you're in school, you're not paying light unit, you're not paying for light, you're not paying for house, you're not paying for anything. Now the weight of bills are here. When house rent back then was cheaper, now it's terrible. If you have 1 million, you're probably going to be just one small space, or you're going to be out of Lagos or something. So it's tougher to be able to make this commitment. But I dare say, we can only beseech ourselves, right, to say that there is a way we can pursue a cause that is beyond us, and this world knows how to reward it. For a moment, think outside of yourself. See, the best of ourselves is within us, but the completion of us is with others. I'm not sure there's anybody here that has given any. I mean, when you see a beggar on the road, do you know how many beggars you see on the road? You know how many beggars? I'm sure you do not give any beggar any money. In short, beggars annoy you. Like when you see beggars, you are angry. When someone comes to your DM and says that, please give me 2K, they vex you. Like they vex you. I thought when someone begs, compassion should be unlocked. It's a lie. Actually, anger is unlocked. Right? Why? Because the person is begging for himself. But let that person come to meet you and say, sir, I'm currently doing an outreach, and that outreach is to help young people who are poor out of poverty, creating a program that will help them, create a system around blah, blah, blah. I put the proposal well. This same you that was vexed with me for asking you for 2K, this same you will look for a way to give me money for that cause. Meaning that people only reward us for a cause, and they don't reward us for ourselves. What does that mean? So it means that if I need more money, I should look for a cause. So when you see Bayode doing one project, that's where I'll get money. If I need money, the Bible says that there's either scattereth and abundance in plenty. That scripture is very, 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 very amazing. People just look at Christianity and think all we're doing in Christianity is a God that's looking at sin, and then if you sin, there's a lot of wisdom in the scriptures. There's a lot of wisdom for life and living. It says that there is either scattereth and abundance in plenty. Please, how does that make any sense? How do you scatter and abide in plenty? Like how do you scatter and abound in plenty? It says there is he that withholdeth more than his meat and tendeth towards poverty. Come on, I thought when I keep, I will have. No. The principle is when you keep more than necessary, you will stay in lack. The best way to have is to give. So you give to a cause, you give to a vision, you give to a people, you give to a community. The moment you begin to give, you have made a commitment to having. And you are definitely going to have. So you must see how you can scatter at all times. So at every time, the best way to have is by looking for what can I give? Can I give my wisdom? Can I give some people, some businessmen? I trust me, business people are partners with God. You are partners with God. You are the one advancing humanity, the humanity cause. Imagine if we're still riding on horses today. Just imagine we're still riding on horses today. Do you know that to talk, if I want to go and see Dami in his house before this phone. Do you know that I will have to travel from here to wherever he is just to go and find out that he just left? We were living a very slow life, and that's why long life was necessary. Because we are very slow. What it took me to just go and tell Dami now that Dami, Pastor Tunde called you and he said Pastor Tunde, or maybe something, maybe Pastor Tunde is organizing an event. Without this phone, to give Dami that information, I have to leave where I am, go to where he is, and go and tell him. Just for me to not get there and find out that he has left here. So we're living a slow life. As we were very slow. Maybe that's why long life was necessary. Because to just move them, mostly they will trek for 40 days just to get to a point. You know, they needed long life to do anything meaningful. Now we are living at a speed. We are living at a speed at massive speed. Why? Because entrepreneurs are advancing a cause and making humanity better. And they are not doing it for themselves. They are doing it for people. When you do for people, you unlock purchasing power. Money comes to you. So that's it, sir.
Great, lovely. That's amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for that. I I used to tell people also, that's very amazing. A lot of times, when we are working, we just want to do our basic job and collect our salary, all right, and just go. I listen to Jim. Anyone that knows Jim Rohn, all right, would know that he's a very nice person to listen to. If you read his books too, Jim Rohn will say something. He said something that a lot of you. He said, He said, work hard on yourself than just on your job. If you know what I mean. Work hard on yourself than just working in your job. So, and it's always important for people that are in corporate space, right? The corporate space, for example, you are in a government job. I don't know if any of you are in government job. I don't know if government job is still the way we perceive, like we can go into work and come in maybe 9, go by 4, that kind of thing. Or some people can even be very, you work in your place, you do your 9 to 5 year day and all those things. And there's an aspect of yourself that you tend not to forget. Okay. So Jim Rohn will say something. He would say that it's good that you are working, okay, but always ensure that you are working hard on yourself. And one of the ways to work hard on yourself is to see a cause that's beyond yourself. Okay. There's nobody that has ever become great, all right, that they've never committed to a cause beyond themselves. Do you get what I'm saying? If all you are looking for in this life is food and shelter, you can never be great. That's just the truth. You can never be great. You can be okay, you can be comfortable, you can, you can do things, you can have money when needed, you can marry, but if that's what your life is all about, okay, you can never be great. And if you look at it all across spheres, today we can celebrate the Rockefellers, the Ford that started car production, the Carnegie that started the steel industries, the fathers of industrial this thing, or you want to celebrate the Malcolm that led the black slavery, those things, you can, even if it's, I can give you examples, even if it's spiritual, right? All those fathers of faith, big people, you see today, oh, this man is great, oh, this man has anointing, this, my brother or my sister. If all you are looking for is just what are we eat, if all you are looking for is to use the next iPhone or the latest Samsung phone, if all you are looking for is to drive a car, if all you are looking for is that in this life, right, you can never be great. And I think the world is built that way. It's a principle, whether you're a believer or an unbeliever. And that's why sometimes some believers will say, oh, why are some unbelievers great? Why are some this? No, it's not, because it's a principle that God will never, can never break. Whether the person has never stepped into church, whether the person has never stepped into mosque, whether the person is not a religious person, if the person can commit themselves to a cause beyond themselves, All right. So it goes beyond just eating and drinking. Okay. Then they will be great. And I feel like that's why scripture says something that don't seek things that's about food and drinking. Your father caters for the birds in the heavens, right? The lilies of the valley. All right. So my point here is that always ensure that you commit yourself to a cause beyond yourself. Even if you're a job, if the minimum job requires you to come in the morning and go and leave, don't just give yourself to say that is the minimum I will do. That's what is required of me. Look at it in that space and find something beyond yourself that you can do in that workspace. All right. So my point here is don't commit yourself, just apart from the job that you do, ensure that you give yourself off, or you take your working on yourself or working on yourself as a greater job. So just because we are coming to an end, okay, I'll just take from the audience. We've spoken about a lot of things. Bayo has spoken about a lot of things. You might have some questions, all right, and you would like Bayo to address. So we'll just take, let's take 3 questions, all right. And these 3 people, if you have a question, can you just signify by raising your hand on the chat if you have a question? Okay, good. Kalani, you can go ahead. Yeah, Tolani, I can see your hand raised.
Good
You can.
evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Firstly, I want to appreciate um, my mentor, Mr. Kushaya, and Mr. Bayode Oke Thomas. Thank you so much for the insightful session. I've just picked the notes. I'm like, I will need to request for the recording after now to listen and listen again. A lot has just been thrown at me. I need that to pick everything. So my question is, while Mr. Bayode Oke Thomas was sharing it, he was sharing a whole lot, to be very honest. We talked about the fact of how that the seed needs to die, and then after after a while of silent building, then it can now come out and um, and basically bear fruit. That was one. But my question here is that in the second part we talked about, sorry, about the fact that you need to commit yourself to different things. So in that particular aspect, committing yourself to different things for me is somehow right. In doing that, won't you lose the focus and purpose? How do you manage that? That's my question, sir.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic question. Fantastic. Thank you so much for asking that question, because sessions like this, you share something and then you run with one, and then there's no the balance, to it. Very true. But the truth is that, let me just not lie to you. There are only 2 recommendations on how to fulfill purpose. There are just 2 recommendations. Number one, whatsoever your hand findeth to do it with all your might and with all your strength. Meaning that anything, there's no purpose. Please, I don't nail me to the cross yet, please. There's no purpose assigned for mortal land. There are roles. There are roles created in today's world. There's no purpose that is by your purpose. There are roles created. This work, it's like job description. They are already laid down rules that bio can be fit to take on. So the role to be Adolf Hitler was not assigned to Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler just fit into it. The role to betray Jesus was not assigned to Judas. Or the purpose is not to Judas. It's not that Judas has come to this world to know. It was that Judas, he lived his life fit to that role. Joseph, that provided his tomb for Jesus' body, was not that design was not designed for Joseph from heaven. Joseph lived a life of influence, and his influence was now fit for the role. So there are roles in this world, right? So what that means is that whatsoever your hand find to do it well. When you are doing it well, you are becoming fit for the cause. That's one. Number two is, if you have not done that which is for others, who will give to you that which is yours? Now, meaning that when you are doing that which is for others, it is something that your hand has found to do. So please do it well. So now what that means is that in exploring your world, I still go back to that thing. In experiencing your world is where you can really find purpose. What you might think is your purpose right now is because that is all you have seen, witnessed, touched, and experienced. If you get exposed at a level, let me give you an example. For me to become CEO of Rescue, I did not know anything about Rescue, or I did not dream of owning a startup in my life until I joined InstantRad. When I joined InstantRad, we were solving the problem of shortage of radiologists in Nigeria or in Africa, right? In solving that problem, I realized a new problem, which is there might be shortage of radiologists, but patients who don't know how to access even these radiologists for these centers. So how can we? That was what made me create my company. Right now, I'm solving a problem for patients to easily access diagnostic centers, but I will never know that. If I have not done this. You see, so it's in experience. Some people got a lot of talent because they went to loot. Some people, got into leadership because they were elected as ESCOs in RCF. Imagine you never accepted it. There's so many people that do not accept it too, right? So it's still the ability for us to experience and explore our world. If you don't explore, you will not have options. You'll be choosing from what you have seen. You will not choose from options. And when you are walking in a space that resonates with you, trust me, it will be fun. It will not be hard work. It will be fun. It will be what you want to do. What you like. See skit makers now. Skit makers. What's the metaphysical truth of what they are doing? Is they're making us laugh. But imagine somebody like a doctor that's cracking jokes. It will be hard work for him. But somebody who is a joke cracker, a natural growth joke cracker, now stumbled in his way to start to do skits, it will come very easy. Right? It will come very easy. So we must still learn to experience our world. I still stay there. I don't know if there are other, body of knowledge or school of thoughts that is contrary to this. I'm open to learning more, but you must have the ability to experience the world.
Sorry, I was muted.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Tolani. Thank you, Bayo, for that question, for that answer. Does anybody have another question? Does anybody have another question? If you are shy, you can put your question on the right before we round up. Does any other person have another question? So please, I think there is a Google link here. Not a Google link. Okay. Tolani has another question. Okay, just before Tolani asks his last question. So please make sure we fill this form. It's just for the purpose of feedback, just so that we can improve on subsequent meetings and all those things. So, and also have your data and all those things. So Tolani, you ask this question and we round up. After once you are done with answering Tolani's question, I know you are working on something. I know I discussed with you. If you are open to share with people and all those things, you can always share with them so that those that are interested can join, or be part of what you are building or building. All right, so Tolani, your question, and we'll round up.
All right. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Bayo. So much. Thank you for the insightful answer you gave, exploring all that is around me, and then I would have opportunity to pick up from there. So my second question is based on the all of the experiences you shared earlier, and then uh, two major experiences. There was one that when your background, give you so much opportunity to do a lot of things that you wanted to do. It was like there was a bit of limitation from your background, but still you you wanted to what the word now, wanted to explore a lot. There was so much potential locked up in you, but you're limited with your background. And what you said in your story was that you went, you met mentors, went to their home, did a lot of simple stuff for them, but you did it excellently, excellently. So there are two things for me there. Two things. There's a mind shift there. While doing those things, uh, there is a tendency to kind of demean yourself, or how do I put it, or feel less of yourself. I would love to ask how you handle that. Secondly, is about the visibility. Talked about the fact that you wrote with your own hands many things and you posted it, right? How do you also handle that? Because sometimes when you get visible enough, you can just lose it, lose all the discipline, and then you think I've gotten it off. That's my question.
Wow. Yeah, fantastic questions. Right. So if you listen to what we said earlier about choosing what enslaves us, right? Yes, I'll demean myself, and they're not demeaning me. I put myself to be demeaned, right? So is that it's not so that it's not I'm the powerful one actually, right? I'm the one I know that is very powerful because I chose to be enslaved by you, right? So and if you are lucky enough to have agency to see what I'm doing, you will know what you will see what I'm doing as powerful. If you lack agency, you also be a casualty of my own caprice too. Because me putting myself to be ridiculed or talked down at people myself put myself at that level, it's power for me because the moment I gain access to you and I rise at a level, how you treated me will probably make you I will probably although I'm a faith person, so I won't do that for you, but you also will not be able to lay hold on the fact that you make me grow. But if you see the power in what I'm doing, you will invest in me. Like me, and if a young person come to me now and start to, tell me, oh, Bayo, please mentor me, please do this, and you are giving yourself up, I will see it as I know what you are doing. I'm too aware of what you are doing, and I will invest in you. I will not just invest in you, I will invest to also reap my own harvest too. So to be a win-win. So you are going to give yourself up to be mentored by me, meaning that you'll be doing a lot of work for me. Me too, I'm going to be invested in you so that the success of this mentorship, I can use it as an advantage to tell other mentees to come on board. Right. So you see that it's a win-win. I'm the actual powerful one. So there's nothing like so you will only feel bad if you are reacting, right? And if you are reacting, you are not powerful, right? So that's why it's part of the becoming process that I choose you as like I carry my mentor on my head. If anybody knows me, my mentor is on my brain, like it's on my head. I don't write anything without referencing him, right? I don't do anything without referencing him. I chose to be enslaved by him, and he knows too that this guy is a dangerous guy, and he invests in my life, right? And if he needs to prove that he has an investment in mentorship, I'm a solid student of that, right? So that's how I was able to deal with that. I mean, and I went through hell, right? The people used me to do all manner of things, right? But it's all done today. And I don't do that anymore. They don't do that to me. They can't even look me in the eye and tell me sir, and say some things to me now, right? Because of what I've had to, do with all the access that they give to me. And that's one. Number two is the idea of putting ourselves out there. See, let your light shine. Nobody's going to discover you, to be very honest. Nobody's especially if you're in this room and you don't have a fantastic upbringing, you don't have gold spoon, not even silver spoon. Let me just tell you, you are the one to ring your bell. Let me just tell you today, you are the one. No, there's no savior anywhere that's come to save us.
let your light so shine. Can you light up a candle and put under a bushel? You can't, right? So you have to shine your light, and shining your light means documenting your experiences. Like I say to people, in a wedding or in a movie, the most important thing in the wedding is not the food. The most important person in the wedding is not the guest. The most important thing in the wedding is the pictures, right? The most important thing in any event. You know this event now that we're hosting now. Maybe to give us maybe 2 days, we'll be able to. After 2 days, you forget what I said. You forget everything. You in your head like, fantastic, oh great, great, great. But you've forgotten everything. The only reason why this event will be remembered is if we document it. So I document everything. There is always a newspaper person in every event I go to speak. You know, at this event now, I can send a report of this event and send it to newspaper people to publicize it. On Monday, you receive the nation's link. You receive link on the nations, and you'll be shocked to see your name as attendees, because that is the only way you can actually prove that you ever did anything. So if your light is really going to shine, and it must shine before men. But we Christians, we used to shine light to ourselves. You are light. You're shining light to me, light. We are not going to blind ourselves with light. We are light sent to darkness, right? The proof of your light, the magnanimity of your light, is when it shines in darkness. It's not when it shines with me light. So we should look for places in the world and shine our light there, and shine it there. So if you are doing anything powerful, talk about it. Talk about it on LinkedIn. Don't just talk about it on LinkedIn and be having likes. Put an investment in pushing it to be seen by men, because men must see it. So don't just say I posted on Instagram, and so you know what I posted on Instagram. If Pastor Aaron can still be sponsoring posts, then you have no excuse. With their level of if they post alone without sponsoring, it has pushed. They are still putting money to sponsor. It's proof to tell you something, that there are more people that need to see what you are doing. Let me see, guys. We are just at our level because of the eyes that have seen our works. You might think that your work is so small. Planet Earth does not have the ability to capture perfection, so you can never be perfect. So remove that one first. There's nothing that you will ever do that will be perfect. If you are perfect today, there's no need for tomorrow. The proof of tomorrow, the proof of engagement for tomorrow people is today's imperfection. So whatever you have, it's perfect enough. It might not be complete. That's why tomorrow exists, so that you can reiterate on it and provide blueprints to improve on it.
Yeah.
Right. So anything that you have right now, put it out there. It's not perfect to you. It is perfect. It is perfect. It is already perfect. It can never be perfect. There's no investment you want to make on that thing today that will make it perfect. If iPhone waited for iPhone 16 to release their fantastic phone, they will never exist. They released a 3G. If you see 3G now, you can stone somebody. It looks like matches. It's a very useless phone, but they released it then. Now they have released 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 was in 10 as an incompletion or an imperfection. They retreated on 10 to bet 11. So whatever you have is perfect enough. There is somebody out there that it will be suckered to. There's somebody out there that will relate with it. There's somebody out there that, like for instance, my story now might not be sweet to you. There's somebody that is sweet too. So it is perfect where it is. I might not have all the homage, let's say Oma now, all the perfect cars in the world, the Rolls Royce and the likes, right? Oma was once was a car we wish for in our olden days. Oma now is very if you ask me Oma now, I will cost your destiny. I will abuse your generations. You know that, you see, that's another thing to learn, that there's nothing perfect, right? Today is your only critical factor of engagement. Release what you have out there. Trust me, you are going to improve. When we look at your story of yesterday, and we look at it like, wow, so you did that yesterday? Man, God is good. You're so improved. But imagine you never released it yesterday. There's no reference point to your growth. Let people have a reference point to your growth. Guess what your reference point to your growth is? That imperfect thing that you released. Stop over editing that post. If you over edit it, nobody will comment. If it is too good, they will not comment again. They'll just pass over it. Some of you want to get the perfect phone first. Perfect phone before you shoot your content. Shoot that rubbish. Let people even comment in the comment section and say, your camera is poor. That's one comment. At least that's one comment. And we're not recording recording 4 good comments or 3 good comments is comments. Let people even be able to insult you on the comment. Let them be able to tell you that you are not good enough. So that when you are good enough, you can reference them and say, oh, how is it now? I don't look like who I used to be, right? You know, a lot of us want to be too perfect. So you want to wait till you are ready. Whenever you are ready, you are late. Just check it. Anytime you are already late. That time you say, oh, I want to go and learn dev. I want to go and learn Python before I can come out and say and start collecting gigs. Just have you realized that when you were done, everybody have moved to another programming language. They're already doing new things. Release that imperfection that you have now and put it out there. The only way we can see you is when you put it out. Before, it's gone are the days that we used to I know before people can become ambassadors. You need to go and read international relations in school before you can become an ambassador of any brand. You must do international relations. Hello. If you have international relations, MSc and PhD, no brand will work with you. They are working with idiots. A fool just put imperfect things out there, and he's already brand ambassador. Don't wait to be perfect. And this is the rise of the underdogs. We're in the parallel universe. We're in the parallel universe where anything can happen anywhere. The conversation tonight is think global. When you think global, you will know that your future, whatever you want to become in the future, is just right in your hands. It's in the eyes that are seeing you. The number of eyes that can see you determines your level of power. You must learn, as we said, you must learn to rent a space in the heads of people. And you have social media to do that. Like tonight, now I'm sure a lot of us will go home with the mindset that, oh, you listen to a bio. In a way, I've rented a space in your head. When you see me next time, you can reference and say, this guy, has been through a lot of stuff. You can say a lot of things about me, right? If Pastor Tony not put me here, I will never be here, right? So we must know that our light we can grow to the degree of the eyes that sees us. Right, and if the more eyes that see you, the more eyes that want to work with you. And trust me, at your level, whatever level it is, there are people that want to do things with you, right? So we must learn to let our light so shine, and let nobody is going to discover our talents. You must show it that you can do it. And trust me, if you do that and you keep growing, I really wish I had the time to talk about the levels of mastery. Right, because that is also very powerful. In the chain of mastery, getting to mastery and authority, the first thing is natural giftings. A lot of us, we come out our natural giftings and just get stuck at it. Oh, I know how to talk, and get stuck at that. Or I know how to plan events. The system don't understand that. At a level, we can test you and say, okay, let's see you do it. Natural gifting. I can talk. I can write. You can write. Yes. We'll test you at a level. At a level, we'll be doing deals with you. But if you don't improve from that natural gifting, you will get stuck there. Some people, they try you out as front desk officer because of your natural giftings. So, and then you got stuck as front desk officer because you did not move from your natural gifting to the next level. Natural gifting is shouting, I can do it. Hey, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it is not you do it, right? So natural gift is not enough. You must move from natural gift to skill. Natural gift to skill. What is skill? Skill is recognizable, transferable advancement of your natural gift. Is when your natural gift has gone through training, then it is now it becomes skill. So I was sharing that you need to learn to experience your world. One of your experiences, you find out your natural gift is number one, I can talk. Number two, I can negotiate. Number three, these are natural things that come to me. I thrive in doing business. I like to engage with people. These are natural gifts, but I must convert this natural gift to what I call a skill. Skill, recognizable, transferable skill. Something that can be transferred that can be retaught, right? And you can only do that by taking a course or something. So I discover I can talk. I go and take public speaking courses, or I discover that I can write, I take writing courses, or I grow around the space of writing, or serve under a writing mentor, or do something and convert that natural gift into a skill. Now, skill is still not enough. Skill, so natural gift is saying I can do it, right? I can do it. Skill is saying, skill is screaming that I do it, right? I do it. I have the certificate to prove to it that I do it. But skill is not enough. You must get to competence. What is competence? Competence is repetition of your skill. You have deployed that skill over and over again in a particular industry or in a space. Deploying that skill, and so I've done it, and I've done it again. Now, competence is still also not enough. You must get to the point where you are an expert in it. Like you become an expert, that you can do it with your eyes closed. You have become unconsciously competent. It's like driving. There's a way you start to drive and you are straight looking at the brake and the pedal. It gets to the point where you are driving and you're no longer looking at anything. It's just a natural thing. That's your natural gift. You must get to that level where you can close your eyes and do it, right? And then expertise is not enough in the world of in the future. To function in the future, you must be a master. It means you have deployed that expertise across different industries. They put you in healthcare, you shine. They put you in fintech, you shine. They put you in agro, you shine. They put you in FMCG, you shine, right? We must grow our natural gift to a level of mastery, right? But the challenge is that a lot of us don't even explore our natural gifts. We are stuck with what life gave to us. There's a way you do some courses. You say some courses, I'm studying medicine, I'm studying mass communication. Some courses you say they gave me zoology. Some of us were studying what they gave us. Whereas there's a way we can develop what is our natural gifting into mastery. When you do that, you become a force to reckon with in this future. And the future is 30, guys. Sorry, the future is 20. The future is 20. If you are 15 now, you'll be 35. If you are 20 now, you'll be 40. If you are 25, you'll be 45. If you are 5, you will be 25. There's no young person. And whatever you do or don't do now has a huge impact in our future. We are in that transformation time. We are in that season when people were camping around typewriters and they forgot that it has changed, that we have moved from typewriters to computers, right? We're in that season where you can focus on, you can be too loyal to something and forget that it will change, right? So we need what we call the necessary nimbleness. Necessary nimbleness is our ability to respond to change at the slightest notice, right? When your ability to respond to change at your slightest notice. When things are changing, you are seeing AI, transforming. It's time to take a course in it. Attach your natural gifting to it. See what you can do out of AI and be involved. Get involved. Don't be around. Be present.
Yeah.
Right? Be present. Be aware. Be present in the world of today. Don't camp around your mass comm or your photography or your whatever course you thought you have studied. Don't just be too loyal to it. Don't forget it will change. Conductors today thought they will be doctors yesterday. So they did not know that life is going to change, right? So don't be too loyal to what is working that you forget that we change. BlackBerry forgot that. Kodak forgot that. And they camped around Core 5 and Boot 5 and thought that it's a rave and it will not change. So you must keep retracing what you are doing and betting newness out of it. Always question your last perfection and look for the imperfection in it and produce its next level. When you do that, you become very powerful. You will gain purchasing power from people. People will begin to pay you for things that you naturally just do because you are a creative person. Let your creativity come out even in this hardship. I promise you, it is the right of the underdogs right now. Named boys and girls are rising from across the world. Bella is there. There are so many people. It is the time and the season now that wherever you are, people can see you and will greet you with great reward because you are committed to shining your light and showing what God has put on your inside as a seed.
Lovely. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Bayode, thank you for that answer. That is very, very important. That's very, very important. Bayode, can you just share, I know you're having this thing that are you open to discuss it in just in 1 or 2 minutes? And
Thank you.
we'll just round up.
Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. Personally, you know, I celebrate you. I honor your work. I honor you for, you know, a lot of things that you might not even be aware of. Please, I want you guys first, camp around Pastor Tunde. He's an amazing man. You know, I've known him since school. I've known his whatever I'm sharing now is nothing compared to the weight of wisdom that, you know, he embodies since school. I mean, imagine since school. I can imagine what Pastor Tuesday is right now. You know, sitting down with Pastor Tuesday right now, I can imagine what, you know, he's going to dish out. You know, I do not take this platform for granted. I celebrate you, sir. You know, I really celebrate you, and I don't do that publicly. Pastor Sunday, you know, took a lot. He was very always on my case in school. He was seriously on my case because my life was going wayward, right? And I was a huge prayer point for him, and I was serving under him in his tenure as well. And you know, those investments, you know, were part of the things that that influenced the decisions that I had to make eventually when I was, you know, reiterating my life again. And I can't thank you enough for that investment in my life, even when we were all sent to go and read our books. But you chose courses, you chose, if you went through a course. I remember when I was to drive, when I became transport secretary in RCF, and I did not know how to drive. And then we're to go to was it for Pakoto to go and carry people. And Pastor said that, oh, the grace to drive is in you. You are going there. We're going there. And because then I was transport secretary, I did not know how to drive, but they chose transport secretary. So we always go and call people to come and drive us there. And I was like, you are going there, and we are going there today. And then he sat beside me, and I was driving a car. I don't know how to drive. And then we just driving. And today, I mean, I know how to drive because of that experience, even though I still went to go and learn some more after that. But he ensured that I faced my fears because I was very scared of driving. I was like very scared. I didn't want to kill anybody, any children, even though at some point we will jam somebody on the road, but all of that fears were taken. I can't thank you enough. And I say all of these things not because I have to do them, but because it's something that I really want to do. I've said it to you several times personally, and I think it's great to say it out there. Please camp around Pastor Tunde's work, right? Camp around his work, camp around what he's doing. Get involved. Don't be on the fence. Get involved. Commit yourself to it. Get enslaved by it. Trust me, you will never fail. You will never fail. So the event that is coming up is called the BOT Black Room. The Black Room, right? The Black Room for people who are doers, shifters, change makers, founders, whatever. You have something powerful. You sense something powerful about you. You should be in the Black Room. It's a 6 weeks program. There's too many of my friends, my seniors, my mentors who are, going to be coming on board to, take sessions. I also took some pre-recorded sessions as well. And there's a demo day where you can also win the cash prize of £1 million. So if you engage in the pitch competition, there's a pitch competition after the program that if you win, you get a chance to win £1 million. So it's powerful. It's going to be packed. It's our belief that the BOC Black Room is a vibe, right? It's the new expression of greatness. We're raising the 1% of people who are going to change the story about Africa, right? So if you feel you're that person, you should camp around it. We're going to be releasing the communication soon. We might give a discount. We'll give a discount to the tribe grid community, so that it comes at that. It's expensive. I mean, the work that we do comes with sweat and blood, commitment, right? So I'm not sorry that it's expensive. We give you value, you take value, you swipe your card, the money comes to us, the value comes to you, right? And trust me, there's going to be a discount to the tribe community, and I really want you guys to jump on it, camp around it. We have partners as well who, maybe if you're like Black Room might be something you want to explore too. So we also anticipated that people are just exploring us, and through us, they might bet new ideas. So we partner with people like companies for internship. You want to do an internship in business. So it is sent out to people who are in career or in business. So if you're a career person, Black Room is for you. the business person, black room is for you, or anything in between, right? So it's a room you want to be in. It's not that expensive, right? But I can promise you it is packed, right? Yeah, that's it. So when it's out, I'm going to share it with Pastor Tunde. I'm sure it's going to share it around the community. If you're not in the Tribe Grid community, you should jump in. You should be there. Go through the process of registration and be there, right? And I'm sure that we're all going to get it. We'll see ourselves at the top. Thank you so much, sir. I honor
Thank
and
you.
respect.
Thank you so much, Bayo. Thank you so much. This is really, can you just guys just appreciate Bayo? Share emojis, put on the charts, I just wanted to celebrate this. This is an immense weight of wisdom. It's an immense weight of wisdom that Bayo just shared. Bayo just shared an immense weight of wisdom. I remember when I started this meeting, I said there are things I would want you to do, that ensure that after this meeting you go back to reflect. And I like when we started, he said it's not about writing a nugget. It's not just so that when you are in another meeting, you put or one day when you feel vibe, you put it on your this thing. I just put one quotes. It's not for quotes. You get what I'm saying? It's not for nuggets on WhatsApp. It's for self-reflection. Someone Adeyemi said something. If you are going to, make impact, particularly leadership impact, you must first lead yourself in self-transformation. All right. You must first lead yourself in self-transformation. So it's very important that you ensure that you lead yourself in self-transformation. So this meeting, this conversation, ensure you listen to it. All right. We you can follow us on our I think we have our Instagram, okay, so that when you go to the Instagram, there's also a link tree where you can connect to the YouTube and connect to the WhatsApp. Yeah, please Kingsley, can you share the WhatsApp link, on the chat, if you can share the WhatsApp link. But also from the Instagram, you can always, connect with the Tribe Grid Instagram link. Then I think you can get from the link tree, you can get the links, and also we'll be putting this this video, the recording of this video on the YouTube. Sorry, our YouTube is not yet glamorous. And Bayer said it, that you don't wait for it to be perfect. So you just follow it. I think that was the last meeting that we had on we had the meeting on the financial webinar. You can also, that's the first one that we've uploaded. We definitely upload this one maybe in the next 2 days. Definitely we see it uploaded. So that you can watch the video and listen. Remember what Bayo said, he kept listening over and over and over and over again. It's a discipline. All right. So these things that you've heard, I will encourage you, once the YouTube is out, ensure you listen to it, even if it's for just 1 week straight. All right. 1 week, 2 weeks straight. Listen to it. Let that thing shift. There are people don't, sometimes when we hear something, there's always the euphoria. All right. We're always happy. Yeah. Ooh, amazing. Good. You get what I'm saying? But to come to that place of subconscious to conscious, it takes repetition. All right. So as much as possible, some of these things, once it comes uploaded to the YouTube, download it if you can download it, and all those things. Keep listening to it in your free time. If you are driving, you're in the bus, you're something, just try and listen to it for this 1 week. All right. Let something move from consciousness to your subconscious to your conscious level. Okay, to that place of awareness. When you get to that place of awareness, you will realize that there are things, that you begin to recognize and work in. So thank you guys for joining once again. There's also a form link. I want you guys to fill the form link so that we can get, better with what we are doing. There are lots of meetings, of course. After this meeting, probably next month or 6 weeks time, there's also another one that we are going to be hosting. So try as much as possible to be there. We'll definitely send you a message either through your email, just to get you notified. If you're in the community, you'll definitely see it within the community. All right. So, but thank you so much for attending once again. I appreciate everyone that is here. Bayo, I'm saying that I'm really, really blessed by what you have said. In fact, I'm learning. I was jotting. I'm like, oh my God. There are a lot of things. I like to do something. I'm always a big reader. All right. And now everybody that I've come to, that I've spoken, I always tell them to recommend a book. All right. So, Bayo, can you recommend, if there's one book that you recommend for someone in this meeting, what book do you recommend?
Okay, sir. So I would say Love Affair with Failure by Olakunle Soryinyo. Love
Okay.
Affair with Failure. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm not sure it's out like that, but I'm sure it is something that we can get. Love Affair with Failure, powerful book, very powerful. It helps
Good.
you to love failure and just be coasting and playing. I also have a video book. It's not free too. I think it's just 2,000 or 3,000 there.
Mm.
Right. I could share the link. It's a video book. It's called when when it seems like all I'm doing is failing. Right. Risk, Ruin, and Rise. Yeah, it's an audio book,
Yeah.
powerful as well. Found stories of people who had failed as well in it, and fantastic book that we can get. Maybe I could just look for the link and then put link to the
Okay.
book and put it here as
Okay.
well.
Lovely. Lovely. So great. 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 So thank you guys once again. Thank you for joining. Um, we would call the meeting to an end today. Thank you. Stay updated with our meetings. Join the community. Follow us on Instagram and keep an eye for YouTube when the video gets uploaded so that you can listen to it. All right. Thank you, guys. Yes, Bayo has added the link. So for those that want to get the audiobook for what Bayo has done, you can always get that link. All right. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thank you so much, sir. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night, Bayo.